Every holiday season, families across America gather to decorate their homes, not just with lights, but with love, tradition, and joy. For the Miller family, Christmas was more than just a holiday. It was a chance to bring their community together, to create memories for their kids, and to share the warmth of the season with neighbors. That year, the Millers decided to go all in. They hung strings of glowing, colorful lights across the roofline, placed a cheerful reindeer on the front lawn, and topped the house with a sparkling star that glimmered in the winter night. For them, it was festive, harmless, and filled with joy. The neighborhood kids loved it. Families walking by stopped to admire the cheerful glow. Some even said the Millers' home made their street feel like a Hallmark Christmas movie. But one cold December morning, the joy came crashing down. Inside the mailbox was a letter from the Homeowners Association, bold, stern, and chilling. The letter claimed their holiday lights were unapproved and demanded immediate removal. Attached to it was a fine of $900, effective immediately if they refused. The Millers were stunned. Unapproved? Since when did families need permission to hang Christmas lights? They combed through the HOA's bylaws, reading line by line. Nowhere was there any mention of requiring approval for holiday decorations. The only vague rule referred to community uniformity. Still, the HOA insisted their lights were too distracting and out of character for the neighborhood. The family tried to reason with the HOA president. They explained that Christmas lights were temporary, harmless, and part of American tradition. But instead of compassion, they were met with cold words. Rules are rules. If you don't follow them, the fines will continue. The Millers felt cornered. $900 was a huge amount for their budget. Their children overheard the conversations and felt guilty, asking, "Mom, did we ruin Christmas?" The thought broke their hearts. The holiday joy had been replaced with fear, stress, and anger. But Sarah and Michael Miller, determined not to give in, decided to fight. They started documenting everything. They took photos of other homes in the neighborhood decorated with lights, some even more extravagant than theirs. None of those families had received fines. They gathered testimonies from supportive neighbors who admitted the Millers' lights were beautiful, not disruptive. Slowly, the case became bigger than just Christmas lights. It became about fairness. At the next HOA meeting, the Millers presented their evidence. But instead of listening, the board dismissed their points. Some members rolled their eyes, while others coldly repeated, "You didn't ask for approval." The vote was unanimous. The fine stood. Defeated but not broken, the Millers escalated further. They hired a lawyer who reviewed the HOA bylaws and confirmed what they suspected: the rules were too vague to enforce, and the HOA had no written requirement for pre-approval of decorations. More importantly, the lawyer uncovered cases in which HOAs had been sued for selectively enforcing rules against some families while ignoring others. The Millers filed a legal complaint. Weeks later, their case was heard in court. The judge listened carefully as their attorney presented the bylaws, the photos, the testimonies, and the proof of selective enforcement. When it was the HOA's turn, their defense fell apart. They had no written rule, no evidence of consistent enforcement, and no legal ground to stand on. The judge ruled decisively in favor of the Millers. The $900 in fines was erased. The HOA was ordered to cover the Millers' legal fees and issue clearer, non-discriminatory guidelines in the future. The victory sent shockwaves through the community. Neighbors who had been afraid to speak against the HOA now rallied behind the Millers. That Christmas, not only did the Millers keep their lights, but the entire street joined in, turning the neighborhood into a glowing festival of unity and joy. The story spread online, sparking outrage at the HOA's overreach. People across the country applauded the Millers for standing up, proving that holiday traditions and family joy should never be punished. The lesson? HOAs may think they control every detail of your life, but they don't control your spirit, your rights, or your traditions. When rules are vague, unfair, or selectively enforced, homeowners can fight back and win. For the Millers, it wasn't just about Christmas lights. It was about standing tall against unreasonable authority. And when the lights finally glowed across their home that winter night, they didn't just shine for one family. They shone for everyone who believes in freedom, fairness, and the joy of the holidays.